Yeah, so red winemaking, we're on the less romantic side of the cellar, full of stainless steel tanks. But all of our red wines are fermented in stainless steel tanks. So with white wine, we are removing the skins or the sediment from the juice before fermentation. With red wine, it's the complete opposite because you're extracting all of your color, all of your tannins, all of your flavors come out of the skins themselves. Which is really important in terms of our color extraction, first of all, our sort of tannic grip and intensity on the palate, and our mouthfeel and weight. So we'll destem all of our red grapes, barring one fermentation, which is quite unique, which I'll explain in a little bit. But the majority of our red wine fermentations, we subject to a pre-fermentation cold soak. So we'll keep the temperature of the skin and juice mixture at about 10 degrees Celsius for up to 7 days. There's a very different type of extraction you get into a water-based solution versus an alcohol-based solution where, in my opinion, you're getting a lot of your flavors, your aromas before or right at the start of the fermentation. And then towards the latter stages of the fermentation, once your alcohol has started to build up, that's when you're going to get a lot more of your tannins, your bitterness, and astringency. So we work the fermentations quite hard. We're doing about 3 pump overs per day at the start of the fermentation, and then we have quite a sort of hands-off, relaxed approach towards the latter stages of the fermentation. All of the red wine fermentations happen in stainless steel tank. They also get subjected to malolactic fermentation, which is a conversion of malic acid into lactic acid. It's a softer type of acid. And then from there, our wines get put into barrel for a period of between 14 to 22 months sometimes on the more sort of top end stuff. Yeah, so red wine's nice and easy to make. We do one fermentation on Shiraz and a little bit on Mourvedre, which is a little bit different and unique. Where as opposed to removing the berries from the bunch, we keep the full bunches in their clusters. We actually leave the berries out in the sun throughout the day to try to get them as close to 30 degrees Celsius as possible, which is completely opposite to what I do with my traditional fermentations. And then we put all of the bunches by hand into a stainless steel tank, sort of impregnate that tank with carbon dioxide gas to create an anaerobic environment. And it's a little bit more of a sort of cowboy style approach. It's a little bit terrifying, but we've been working with the same sort of section of the vineyard block with this fermentation for quite a while now. Yeah, so we put the grapes into the tank, put a lot of carbon dioxide into the tank, close it up, and then leave it for 15 days. The fermentation is actually enzymatically driven rather than being driven by yeast. So everything starts getting crushed naturally just because of the natural berry weight. And then your enzymes start breaking down the skin and releasing the juice in a much more gentle fashion. It's called a carbonic fermentation. Comes out smelling almost like bubblegum or candy floss, and then we subject that to about 2 years of barrel aging, which is a little bit of a sort of oxymoron, in terms of what it could potentially do to the wine. But yeah, it creates a beautiful wine at the end of the day called the Griffin, which also forms part of our sort of precision tier range. Cool, yeah, so with red wine fermentations, especially on the Bordeaux grape varietals, we do a pre-fermentation cold soak. So we keep the temperature of the skin and juice mixture really cold for a period of up to 7 days. By very cold, I'm talking about 10 to 12 degrees Celsius. So this prevents any sort of spontaneous fermentation from taking place, and allows us to extract certain elements out of the grapes in a water-based solution. Once I want to initiate fermentation, I'll lift the temperatures of the tanks up to it tends to range between 20 and 25 degrees Celsius. So the tank behind me is actually undergoing its pre-fermentation cold soak, and we've just turned the cooling off now to lift the temperatures before we inoculate the juice. With a carbonic fermentation, we aim for temperatures slightly higher at about 30 degrees Celsius. But we've got a very nice system here at Journey's End called the Vin Pilot system. So all of my tanks basically have a probe running into the middle of the tank, And then I can set the temperature on the Vin Pilot system or from my office remotely on each one of my tanks, and I can monitor them simultaneously at the same time. But yeah, we're aiming for temperatures of between 20 and 25 degrees Celsius in sort of peak fermentation. We don't tend to go too much warmer than that. But it's a really nice system, and that will turn your cooling of each of your individual vessels on and off depending on the temperature, and keep it at a constant temperature that you sort of envisage as being your preferred for a wine fermentation.